Hey everybody, today I want to talk about doing drum rolls, a couple different ways to do drum rolls without just programming them. And one of the reasons why I love doing videos is actually for my own education. So sometimes I think I know a good way to do something, and when I start putting it down on paper or start actually working out how I'm going to do the video, I run across different ways of doing stuff, and that this is no exception to that. So what I wanted to actually show you guys today was how to do drum rolls using the retrig, and then how to kind of make that more dynamic by using a slide trig, because I don't use slide trigs very often, but this is the one way that I've most commonly used it was to do rolls. But as I was working it out and playing with it this morning, I'm going to show you the new way that I kind of stumbled upon. So on this step right here, I have it only to trigger every fourth time at the end of the bar. But let's just go ahead and we got a trigger lock on here, and if we start, so if you've messed around with the retrigs, you know it's just, I mean, it's just basically a machine gun, right? And then your second dial here is how fast those triggers are. Well, when I was playing with that, I was cranking up the retrigs, and I was like in the 30 or 40 range, and I was still only getting a handful of retrigs all the way, and then I just cranked up all the way, and it was still doing the same thing. And it took me a minute to figure out why. And this is the little trick, or something new that I stumbled upon today, is in my amp page. I had the hold and the release were turned down. So see, even though I have 17 retrigs, because the hold time and the release time is turned down, I'm only getting one. So you can put a bunch of retrigs and then tame it, I guess, with the hold time. But you get what I like about the slide trig that I'll show you in a minute is you get kind of this dynamic fade. You know, when a drummer does a drum roll, typically, unless it's like a marching band or whatever, you don't want a machine gun. You want it kind of. That was a horrible vocal try to. But we want something that kind of starts off. You know, the first hit's kind of loud, and then, you know, kind of like some descending ghost notes, as it were. Something a little more dynamic. So if we see how I'm cranking up the release, and now I'm getting that fade. Almost gives you a delay kind of sound too. So you get these cool little, you know, with the the other thing I just thought of, if you are in the amp section, you can tie the envelope to the filter. Kind of see if I can remember how to do this. I think it's like that. Oh, on the spot test for knowledge. Do I have to engage? Oh. Yeah, there we go. So change the depth. I hope I'm not fooling myself here, and I'm actually just adjusting it automatically with its own setting there. But I think this is tied once you activate effect 1 to retrig. We should be getting, that should be the filter. I think it's doing it. Yeah, it is doing it. So you can do the filter to it. That's cool. Now, I'm going to clear all the trig locks on that. So now let's go back to the retrig, and we've cleared this off here as far as it being locked. But now let's clear that again. Sorry, clear that. Let's make these infinite, so whatever we're hearing on that is going to be that machine gun right now. All right. So let's just set some in here. So there's your machine gun. Now let's do it with a slide here. All right. So for this example, like I said, we're going to use slide trigs, and I already had one in there. So let me take it off, and we can just start from scratch here. We're going to go over to this snare right here, and let's lock some retrigs to it. So let's do something that's a little more realistic, something like that. Okay, now you got to consider, I believe, how long this retrig is going to play. So it's just kind of through 13, maybe 14. So we're going to come in here, and we're going to hit function and bank. That takes us into our trig menu. Make sure you're on slide trigs. You're going to put the slide trig on the note that you want it to start at. So our note's on 12, our slide trig's on 12. Now we're going to go and put in a silent lock, a trigless. Is it a trigless trig? Yeah, trigless trig, I think. Hold down function and hit, we're going to go right to 13 right there. Now let's lock 13 to a lower volume in the amp. Let's see if this works. Yep, you see how it's fading? You can play with it. Let's see. Something like that. So just remember, you always want to put your slide trig on the trig that you want to start with, and then your trigless trig kind of where you want. Remember, the slide trig is going to basically interpolate or slide whatever parameter is locked to here to whatever one is here. Now we don't actually have the amp locked per se to 12, but whatever 12 is at by default on here, it's going to slide from that value, which right now is whatever this is. How do you do that? I think you can press down on the knob. Yeah, -8 was -8 to -41. Just play with it. You get different sounds. Of course, if you're closer to that original volume, you're not going to hear it. You could have it crescendo up. Slide up, slide down. And like I said, you could do the same thing. We were just dealing with the filter with the envelope. Obviously, we can do the same thing here with the filter and a slide lock too. So I just cranked up the Q, the res, and brought the filter down. So now it's sliding from the open filter position to that one. I think I just turned that into a trig, but it's still locked there and it's still sliding. So anyway, that's just a fun way to create like little rolls, or I never really liked the retrig all by itself, because like I said, it just sounded like a machine gun or like a military marching snare. But you can add some dynamics either by using the slide trigs like we just did, or using the amp envelope that I just figured out. So that's the neat thing about the Octatrack and why you can still keep making videos and keep digging up new stuff and figuring out new ways to use it. That's why it's the centerpiece. My favorite piece of hardware is because it's just endless discovery, endless creativity, endless fun. So if you learned something, appreciate it if you'd hit the like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. If you have I always love when people leave comments and say, oh, did you think about this, or have you done it this way before? Because we're all learning from each other. So drop some of those comments down below. And I just want to give a huge shout out to all my Patreons. It just means so much that somebody would be willing to support you, that they enjoy your content enough to throw you a couple bucks. So just much love to everybody out there who supports me on Patreon. If you want to join in, there's lots of free content, exclusive stuff up there. I'm working on getting more and more. A lot of the templates and sample packs you see on my videos are all free on there. So have a great day. Hope you learned something. God bless.